So if you're confused about where you fit in the data world, that's because the industry does a terrible job at explaining these roles and what they actually do. So in this video, we're going to give you some clarity on these job roles and what the skills that are needed for these roles and what they actually do on a day to day. Let's get into it. So if you're new, my name is Zazo. I've been in data analytics for 4 years at this point. I'm currently a senior data analyst. However, my role, weirdly enough, is not the traditional data analyst that you would think. I'll explain a little bit more, but first, I'm going to explain why are there so many different data roles. So people get confused because tech has gotten more specialized. 5 years ago, everyone was just a data analyst, no matter what the roles and responsibilities were. But now, data is the heart of every business, and each step of the pipeline needs its own expert. So instead of trying to learn everything, you need to understand the ecosystem as a whole and where you can fit in. So now we're going to go into the first data role, which is the data analyst. So what a data analyst does is they turn raw data into dashboards, insights, and different reports that helps business teams or teams that have decision making capabilities make their decisions. So where these people will work is usually marketing, such as myself, operations, sales, finance, healthcare. Almost every department will have some sort of data analyst. So the skills you'll need for this role is going to be SQL, Excel or Google Sheets, a business intelligence tool like Power BI, Tableau, something like Looker, and sometimes a bit of Python. So this will be the perfect role for you if you love problem solving, storytelling, and making sense of very messy information or data. So how I like to think of it is they're basically a translator between data and the business. So the next role that we are going to get into is the business analyst. So what this position does is bridge the gap between the business needs and the technical team. So this is less coding, less technical stuff, more strategic. So the things that they normally need are things like requiring or gathering requirements, documentation, dashboards, and project coordination. This isn't exactly I guess this is an analogy, but they're kind of the project manager of the data world. So if you kind of like speaking to people and turning ideas into structured plans and paths, this is probably the position for you. So the next one we're going to go over is the data engineer. So what does a data engineer do? They build the pipes that move the clean data or the pipelines. They make sure that data analysts and data scientists can get to the data that they need at all times. So for this role, the skills that you will need is SQL, Python, learning about ETL pipelines and how to create ETL pipelines. If you don't know what ETL is, it's extract, transform, and load. You'll need to know a cloud platform, GCP, Azure, or AWS. And you'll probably need to learn something like Airflow, DB, or Spark. So this is the perfect fit for you if you like to build systems more than making dashboards. They're like the construction workers of data. They build the infrastructure for everybody else being able to do their jobs efficiently. So the next one is the machine learning engineer. And what they do is they take models from notebooks and make them production ready and put them into production. So they focus on automation, scalability, and reliability of these models. So the skill stack for this one is going to be Python. You're going to see a lot of Python throughout this. Python, ML frameworks like PyTorch, TensorFlow, scikit-learn. They'll need to know about APIs and deployment, cloud platform as well, and versioning using something like MLflow. So this is a perfect fit for you if you like engineering and math. And these are the people that turn prototypes into real products. All right, so the next one is going to be the data scientist. So the data scientists build predictive models, run experiments, and uncover patterns. Skill stack, like I said, it's going to be Python. You will need to know some statistics as well, machine learning, SQL, experimentation. You'll need to know how to set up different experiments and just kind of test and learn and those types of things. It's a very exploratory type of role. So this is perfect for you if you love math and modeling. So they are the researchers and model builders. In this space, there is a very exploratory element of where you're just digging through stuff in order to see what you can find and what patterns you can uncover to help aid in business decisions or predict different behaviors. So the analytics engineer. So this is kind of aligned with what the duties that I do in my specific role, even though I am still under the data analyst title. So what does an analytics engineer do? They're a hybrid of a data analyst and a data engineer. So they transform data using SQL, DBT, and build reusable data sets. This skill stack requires SQL, DBT, warehouse modeling, Git. For me specifically, I also use Python because there's Python in pretty much all things data. So this is perfect for you if you enjoy cleaning data, good documentation, and modeling. So this is kind of like the data architect for an analytics team. So now we're kind of gonna go and do a little recap on which of these roles you should choose and which one is right for you. So here's the simplest way to decide. If you want to impact the actual business, data analyst is your way. If you want to structure and communicate projects and ideas, that's going to be a business analyst. If you want to build systems and data architecture, that's going to be the data engineer. And if you want to build predictive models and you love math, data science is your path. If you want a hybrid between the technical aspect and the analytics, kind of like my role, that's the analytics engineer. And if you want to put and deploy models in production, you are going to be a machine learning engineer, and that's what path you should choose. So remember, you always want to go with what actually interests you and not just what sounds impressive. So if you want me to break down any specific career paths on any of these roles that I've mentioned in this video, leave me a comment about which one and I can make that video. Otherwise, like, subscribe, love, peace, and chicken grease.